Once upon a time, in a small village near a beautiful river, there lived a young boy named Rowan. He was kind, smart, and full of dreams, but he had one big problem: he never valued time. He always thought, "There's always tomorrow. I can do my work later." He wasted his days playing, sleeping late, and delaying his studies. His parents and teachers often told him, "Rowan, time is the most precious thing in life. If you waste it, you will regret it later." But he never listened. One day, something happened that changed his life forever. It was a bright morning, and Rowan's grandfather, an old wise man, called him to sit beside him. His grandfather loved telling stories, and Rowan always enjoyed them. But that day, his grandfather's face was serious. "Rowan," he said, "I want to tell you a story that you must remember forever." Rowan sat down, curious. "A long time ago," his grandfather began, "there was a rich man who had everything: money, a big house, servants, and all the comforts of life. But he was always unhappy. Do you know why?" Rowan shook his head. "Because he never valued time." His grandfather continued, "He always thought he had plenty of time to do everything. When he was young, he delayed learning. When he became a man, he delayed working hard. When he became old, he delayed spending time with his family. And one day, when he was lying on his deathbed, he realized something. He realized that time had passed, and he could never bring it back. He had money but no happiness. He had a big house but no one to share it with. He had a long life but no good memories. And at that moment, he cried, 'If only I had valued my time.' But it was too late." Rowan listened carefully. Something in his heart felt different, but he still did not fully understand. That evening, he went out to play as usual, delaying his homework. He thought, "I can do it later." But when he returned home, he saw his mother sitting quietly, looking sad. He asked, "Mother, what happened?" His mother looked at him with teary eyes and said, "Your grandfather is very sick, Rowan. The doctor said he does not have much time left." Rowan felt a pain in his chest. He ran to his grandfather's room. The old man was lying on his bed, his breathing slow. Rowan held his hand. "Grandfather, please don't leave me," he said, tears rolling down his cheeks. His grandfather smiled weakly. "My dear boy," he whispered, "do you understand now? Time does not wait for anyone. The moment we waste never comes back. I am old now, and my time is almost over. But you still have time. Use it wisely." Rowan cried and held his grandfather's hand tightly. "I promise, grandfather," he said, "I will never waste my time again. I will study, I will work hard, and I will do my best in life." His grandfather smiled one last time, closed his eyes, and left the world peacefully. From that day, Rowan changed completely. He woke up early, studied hard, and helped his mother. He never delayed his work. He realized that time was more valuable than money, more precious than gold. Years passed, and he became a successful man. But he never forgot the lesson his grandfather taught him. One day, a young boy asked him, "Sir, what is the most important thing in life?" Rowan smiled, remembering his grandfather's words, and said, "Time, because once it is gone, it never comes back." So, my dear friends, always remember time is life. Use it wisely. Do not waste it thinking you have plenty of it. Every second matters. Every moment is precious. If you understand this today, your future will be bright and full of happiness. If this story touched your heart, if it made you think about your own time, then show your love by liking this. And if you want more beautiful, life-changing stories, don't forget to subscribe. Your support means the world, and together, we will share more wisdom and happiness. Stay blessed, value your time, and make your life wonderful. Rowan's life became an example for many. People in his village often spoke about him. "Look at Rowan," they would say. "He was once careless with time, but now he is one of the most successful people we know." Children looked up to him. Parents told their kids his story, and elders in the village felt proud whenever they saw him. One evening, Rowan was sitting by the same river where he used to waste his time as a child. The sun was setting, painting the sky with orange and pink colors. The cool breeze touched his face, and he closed his eyes for a moment. Suddenly, he heard a soft voice behind him. "Sir, may I ask you something?" Rowan turned around and saw a young boy standing there, looking nervous but curious. He smiled warmly and said, "Of course, my boy, sit with me." The boy sat beside him and hesitated for a moment before speaking. "Everyone says you are a great man. They say you have achieved so much in life, but weren't you once like me? I waste my time playing and delaying my work. I don't know why, but I feel like I will have time to do everything later. Will I also regret it one day?" Rowan looked at the boy carefully. He saw a reflection of his younger self in him. With a gentle voice, he said, "Let me tell you something that changed my life." The boy listened carefully. "When I was young, I thought time was unlimited. I played all day, delayed my work, and thought tomorrow was always there. But one day, I lost someone I loved, my grandfather. He taught me something before he left. He told me, time is the most precious thing in life because it never comes back. At first, I did not understand, but when I lost him, I realized how true his words were. He was right. The time I wasted never returned. I could not go back and change my past. I could not bring back the moments I lost. And that's when I decided I will never waste my time again." The boy's eyes widened. "So, what should I do?" Rowan smiled. "Use your time wisely. Play. Enjoy life. But also work hard. Learn new things. Spend time with your family. and never delay what you can do today, because one day you will look back and you will either feel proud or full of regret. The choice is yours. The boy thought deeply. After a moment, he smiled. Thank you, sir. I will remember this forever. Rowan patted his head and watched as the boy ran back to his home. He knew, in his heart, that he had just changed another life. Years passed, and Rowan grew older. He saw many seasons change, many people come and go, but one thing never changed: his belief in the value of time. He helped many people, inspired thousands, and lived a life with no regrets. One day, as he sat under the shade of an old tree, he saw a familiar face. It was the same boy, now a young man, standing in front of him. His eyes were filled with gratitude. "Sir," the young man said, "I have come to thank you. That day, when you told me about time, I listened. I stopped wasting my time. I worked hard. I studied well, and today, I have achieved my dreams. All because of you." Tears filled Rowan's eyes, but they were tears of joy. He realized that his grandfather's words had not only changed his own life, but had now traveled through him to others. As the sun set once again, Rowan smiled, knowing that he had done what he was meant to do. And now, my dear friends, I ask you, what will you do with your time? Will you waste it, or will you make it precious? Remember, time is life, and every moment is a gift. Don't wait for tomorrow. Start today. If this story touched your heart, if it made you think, then show your love by liking it. And if you want more life-changing stories, don't forget to subscribe. Your support means everything, and together, we will continue to share wisdom, hope, and inspiration. Value your time. Make your life beautiful. Stay blessed. Stay happy. As Rowan sat under the tree, watching the young man walk away with confidence, he felt a deep sense of peace in his heart. He realized that the lessons of time were like ripples in a pond. One small act of wisdom could spread far and wide, touching many lives. The evening breeze carried the sounds of laughter from children playing nearby. He smiled as he saw them running around, carefree and happy. He knew they had their whole lives ahead of them, full of choices, full of moments that could shape their futures. A little girl, not more than 6 years old, ran up to him with a bright smile. "Grandpa Rowan, tell me a story," she said, her tiny hands holding onto his arm. Rowan chuckled. "A story, HMM. What kind of story do you want?" "Little one, a story about magic," she said excitedly. He thought for a moment and then nodded. "All right, I will tell you a story about the greatest magic in the world." The little girl's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Yay!" she clapped. Rowan took a deep breath and began. Once upon a time, there was a young prince who went on a journey to find the most powerful magic in the world. He searched for years, climbed high mountains, crossed deep rivers, and met many wise people. Some told him that magic was in gold, Some said it was in power, and others said it was in knowledge. But no matter how much he collected, he still felt empty inside. The little girl listened carefully, her tiny hands resting on her chin. Then one day, Rowan continued, he met an old man in a small village. The old man smiled and said, "You have been looking in the wrong places, my prince. The greatest magic is not in gold, not in power, not in knowledge. The greatest magic is in time." The little girl frowned. "Time?" she asked, confused. Rowan nodded. "Yes, time. Because with time, you can create anything. You can learn. You can grow. You can love. You can change the world. But if you waste it, no magic in the world can bring it back." The little girl's eyes widened. "So, is time the most powerful magic?" Rowan smiled. "Yes, my dear. It is the one thing that can make dreams come true. But only if you use it wisely." The little girl thought for a moment and then gave a big smile. "Then I will never waste my time. I will use my magic every day." Rowan laughed and patted her head. "That's my girl." As she ran off to play, he leaned back against the tree, looking up at the sky. The stars were beginning to appear, twinkling like tiny lights in the vast universe. He closed his eyes for a moment, feeling grateful. His grandfather's words had changed his life. His words had changed the young boy's life. And now, the lesson of time was passed on to another soul. And so, the magic of time continued, my dear friends. This is not just a story. This is life. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Some use it to build their dreams. Some use it to spread love. And some, sadly, waste it thinking there will always be more. But time never waits. It keeps moving, and the choice is always ours. So, what will you do? Will you use your magic? Or will you let it slip away? As Rowan sat beneath the old tree, he felt a deep warmth in his heart. The night breeze gently brushed against his face, and he closed his eyes for a moment, remembering the journey of his life. He had come so far, learned so much, and most importantly, he had shared his wisdom with others. The village was quiet now. The streets empty except for a few lanterns glowing softly in the dark. The little girl who had asked for a story was now asleep, dreaming of the magic of time. Somewhere, the young man he had once advised was building his future. And in some other part of the world, someone else, perhaps someone reading or hearing this story, was thinking about their own time. Rowan knew his days were slowly coming to an end, but he felt no regret. Unlike his grandfather, who had realized the value of time too late, Rowan had lived every moment with purpose. He had cherished every second, made memories, helped others, and left behind lessons that would live on even after he was gone. One morning, as the sun rose over the river, Rowan felt a strange sense of peace. He walked through the village, looking at the faces of the people he had known for years. The children smiled and waved at him. The elders greeted him with respect, and the young men and women, now strong and wise, nodded at him with gratitude. He finally reached the same riverbank where he had once wasted his time as a child. He sat down on the grass, watching the water flow. The river had never stopped moving, just like time. It had carried away the days of his childhood, his youth, and now it was carrying away his final years. A voice interrupted his thoughts. Grandpa Rowan. He turned to see the same young man he had spoken 2 years ago, now a grown man with wisdom in his eyes. Beside him was a small child, holding his hand. Grandpa Rowan, the man said, kneeling beside him, I want you to meet my son. The little boy, no more than 5 years old, looked up at Rowan with innocent eyes. Hello, Grandpa, he said cheerfully. Rowan chuckled. Hello, little one. The young man smiled. I wanted him to meet the person who changed my life. The person who taught me the value of time. And now, I will teach my son the same lesson you taught me. Rowan felt his heart swell with emotion. His eyes, now old and tired, glistened with tears not of sadness, but of joy. You have made me proud, Rowan whispered. More than anything, I wanted this lesson to live on, beyond me, beyond my years. And now, I see that it will. The young man placed his hand over Rowan's. You will never be forgotten, Grandpa Rowan. Your words will live forever. Rowan smiled. He looked at the river one last time, feeling its endless flow. Then he closed his eyes, knowing he had done everything he was meant to do. And as the sun rose higher in the sky, the village remembered him not with sorrow, but with love, respect, and gratitude. His story, his wisdom, and his lesson on time would be told for generations to come. Now, my dear friends, as you read or hear this, I ask you one final question. How will you use your time? Because one day, like Rowan, you too will look back on your life, and in that moment, you will either smile with fulfillment or feel regret. Choose wisely. Start today. As the sun shined brighter, the village whispered Rowan's name with love and respect. His story became more than just words, it became a way of life for many. Children grew up listening to his lessons. Young men and women shaped their futures with his wisdom, and elders told his story with teary eyes, remembering the man who had taught them the most valuable lesson of all, the value of time. The little boy who had met Rowan at the river that day held his father's hand tightly as they walked back home. Papa, he asked, is time really the most powerful thing in the world? His father smiled and nodded. Yes, my son. More powerful than magic, more precious than gold. Because with time, you can create anything, but once it is gone, it never comes back. The boy looked up at the sky, deep in thought. After a while, he smiled. Then I will use my time wisely, just like Grandpa Rowan did. His father patted his head. That's my boy. And so, The lesson of time lived on. It passed from one heart to another, from one generation to the next. Years later, when the little boy grew up, he sat under the same old tree where Rowan once sat. A small child ran up to him, pulling on his arm. "Grandpa, tell me a story." The man smiled. He closed his eyes for a moment, remembering the voice of Rowan, the warmth of his wisdom, the love in his words. Then he opened his eyes and said, "I will tell you a story about the greatest magic in the world." And so, the story continued. And now, my dear friends, I ask you again, how will you use your time? Every moment you spend wisely will shape your future. Every second you waste will never return. The choice is yours. If this story touched your heart, if it made you think even for a moment, show your love by liking it. And if you want more powerful, life-changing stories, don't forget to subscribe, because every moment we spend together, learning, growing, and inspiring each other, is a moment well spent. Stay blessed, stay happy, and always value your time.